gentle breeze of Corinth caressed Medea's face as she stood in her garden, a place that used to be her refuge, a sanctuary where the scent of flowers and the murmur of water enveloped her in a mantle of peace. But today, that serenity was a distant echo, almost unrecognizable. Within her chest, a whirlwind of emotions swirled violently. Her heart raced uncontrollably, marked by the betrayal of the one who had been her love. Picking a blossom of orange blossom, she gazed at it with sadness, recalling the days when Jason had promised eternal loyalty. The image of his face, illuminated by sunlight, appeared in her mind, along with the shared laughter and the secrets whispered under the moon. But that image quickly faded, replaced by the cruel reality. Jason had found another, a young woman of angelic beauty, Gloss, daughter of the king. Rage surged within her, like poison bubbling in a cauldron. Suddenly, the laughter of the townspeople echoed in the distance, their joy contrasting sharply with her misery. Medea closed her eyes and let the pain envelop her, like a shadow looming over a bright day. What value does love hold if it fades so easily? She wondered, as a tear rolled down her cheek, leaving a trail of salt. With each memory, her pain transformed into fury. Jason's words, the promises made under the stars, now sounded empty and hollow. Determined not to let her suffering consume her, Medea felt a spark of power beginning to ignite within her. It was time for the world to know her wrath. Her mind began to conjure images of revenge, each darker than the last. With trembling hands, she approached her altar of sorcery, where jars of mystical ingredients her touch. In her heart, the spark turned into a flame, and an enigmatic smile formed on her lips. Jason's betrayal would not go unanswered. The love she had given would transform into a weapon. The full moon illuminated the sky of Corinth, casting unsettling shadows over Medea's garden, which now resembled more of an altar of vengeance than a refuge of peace. The night, heavy with silence, was the perfect backdrop for the awakening of her power. With each step toward her altar, her determination grew, fueled by the fire of her betrayal. The candles flickered, dancing to the rhythm of a wind that seemed to carry her whispers. Medea knelt, feeling the chill of the ground soaked by the night's moisture. With delicate hands, she picked up a glass vial containing a dark, thick liquid, a poison she had distilled with the help of rare herbs and ancient spells. This would be the beginning of her revenge, a gift for the traitor who had claimed her love. As her fingers caressed the vial, her mind traveled to the image of Gloss, the young woman who had stolen Jason from her. The innocence of her blue eyes twisted into a mocking grimace in her imagination. "You don't know what it is to lose," Medea murmured, her voice an echo of hatred and pain. The sadness transformed into a powerful elixir that fueled her magic. Taking a deep breath, she began to trace circles in the earth with her finger, invoking the dark forces that had always accompanied her. The words of an ancient spell flowed from her lips, and as she spoke them, the air became thick, charged with palpable energy. The shadows seemed to come alive around her, dancing in the dimness with a dark symphony that only Medea could hear. As she finished the incantation, she felt a shiver run down her spine. Revenge would not only be an act of justice, but a spectacle that would mark all who had betrayed her. With the vial in hand, she envisioned the scene, Gloss receiving her gift, the look of surprise on her face, the horror reflected in the king's eyes as he watched his daughter fall. The image filled her with a twisted satisfaction. There was no turning back now. Betrayal had awakened in Medea a power that had lain dormant for too long. With a cold smile, she rose, ready to unleash the chaos she had planned. The night was her ally, and the fate of Jason and Gloss was sealed in her heart. The city of Corinth slowly awakened, shrouded in a mantle of morning mist. But for Medea, the new day brought no hope, only the opportunity to complete her revenge. In her mind, each moment became a flash of anticipation. With the vial in hand, the poison gleamed like a dark treasure, ready to fulfill its mission. Medea glided silently toward the palace, her steps light and determined. The sunlight began to clear the mist, revealing the cobbled streets she had walked so often with Jason. Those memories, now sweet and bitter, urged her to move forward. As she approached the palace entrance, her heart raced, but not from fear. It was the pulse of determination. Upon reaching the doors, she made a quick invocation, a spell of invisibility that enveloped her in an ethereal veil. No one would see her. No one would stop her. With a whisper of magic, she crossed the threshold and entered the luxurious interior, where the murmurs of servants mingled with the sounds of daily life. It was a world oblivious to the storm that was about to unfold. The throne room was adorned with golden columns and tapestries depicting the feats of ancient heroes. But Medea had eyes only for Glauce, who moved gracefully among the nobles. The young woman, in her white gown and tiara shining like the sun, was the portrait of innocence, unaware of the darkness looming over her. Medea felt a shiver of satisfaction as she contemplated her target. With an agile movement, she approached the table where the delicacies were laid out. In an instant, the vial was in her hands, and the poison shimmered. With a calculated gesture, she poured the liquid into a beautiful pearl necklace, a gift for the princess, a present that concealed horror within its beauty. A whisper of laughter escaped her lips, resonating in the solitude of her heart. "May the love they have offered you be your downfall," she thought, as the necklace fell onto the table, shining like a beacon of deceit. Medea withdrew, leaving behind the deadly gift that would bring chaos. With each step, adrenaline coursed through her veins, and her mind filled with images of the tragedy that would soon unfold. Revenge was in motion, and nothing could stop her. The echo of laughter resonated in the palace, a feast of celebrations held in honor of Glauce and her marriage to Jason. The air was thick with the fragrances of flowers and spices, but for Medea, that scent only heightened her despair. From the shadows of a corner, she watched the bustle with a heavy heart, feeling that each heartbeat brought her closer to an inevitable climax. The banquet hall was adorned with garlands of gold and silver, and the nobles toasted with goblets brimming with wine, oblivious to the storm looming over them. In the center, Glauce appeared radiant, her smile lighting up the room as she received compliments and admiring glances. Medea, hidden in the shadows, felt a burning in her chest, a whirlwind of emotions that brought her to the brink of the abyss. The poison she had crafted for her pulsed in her mind, an oppressive presence she could not ignore. The image of Jason, enjoying the company of his new wife, became a knife that sank deeper into her heart. Each laugh that echoed was a reminder of his betrayal, and inside her, fury transformed into a deafening scream. Suddenly, in a fit of desperation, Medea decided that her revenge could not be solely an act against Glauce. Jason's betrayal must also be punished. With a heart-wrenching resolve, she stepped into the hall, her figure shrouded in an aura of mystery that made her appear like a specter. The murmurs ceased, and all eyes turned toward her. "Jason," she pronounced his name like an echo of pain and rage, and the hero froze upon recognizing her. The tension in the air was palpable, and his gaze darkened as he noticed the glint in her eyes. "You have forgotten what it is to love, what it is to sacrifice. Today, the truth emerges from the shadows." With a swift movement, she raised the poisoned necklace, and a grave silence fell. Glauce, stunned, approached, unaware that fate had woven a deadly trap. Upon seeing the necklace's glow, a chill swept through the hall. It was a moment suspended in time, a climax of desperation where love and hatred collided. Medea knew that by taking the next step, she would not only seal Glauce's fate, but also unleash her own condemnation. The decision was made, and the horror that loomed was inevitable. The air grew dense, heavy with the anticipation of what was about to happen. Whispers turned into screams of horror as Medea, in a moment of contained fury, hurled the necklace at Glauce, who, confused, reached out to catch it. The jewel shone with a sinister brilliance, like a beacon of death, and in an instant, the world seemed to stop. Glauce's scream echoed in the hall, a shriek that reverberated off the marble walls as the poison began to take effect. Her face transformed, joy giving way to a deathly pallor. The nobles, stunned, recoiled, their faces reflecting disbelief and terror. Jason, with his heart in his throat, rushed toward her, but it was already too late. The young woman collapsed, her eyes filled with confusion and pain, as if Medea's betrayal had struck her with the force of lightning. As life faded from Glaus, Medea's laughter turned into a heart-wrenching cry. Each tear that fell was an echo of broken promises, of a love that had been transformed into hatred. Tragedy had been unleashed, and the palace, once a place of celebration, became a stage of lament. The king, seeing his daughter fall, rushed to her, but the poison had already done its work, and the pain erupted into a scream of despair that resonated throughout the hall. Medea, trapped in her own storm of emotions, felt the power she had invoked consuming her. Revenge, though sweet in its conception, became a poison that corroded her soul. Laughter turned into a lament, and satisfaction faded, leaving only an overwhelming emptiness. Realizing what she had unleashed, horror engulfed her. The destruction she had planned had turned against her. Jason, in a fit of rage and pain, looked at her with eyes full of betrayal. "What have you done?" he shouted, his voice broken as he approached the fallen form of his beloved. Medea, feeling the world around her crumbling, turned and fled the palace, leaving behind the chaos she had created. In her heart, love had transformed into an abyss of loneliness. The night embraced her as she ventured into the shadows, leaving in her wake a trail of destruction and an echo of a vengeance that could never quench her pain. The story of Medea, marked by tragedy, became a whisper in the darkness, a lament that would resonate in the hearts of those who knew her.